What if I told you you're not broken, that your suffering, your anger, your stress, they're not flaws but messages? Messages from your own mind, your own body, trying to tell you something. This is not just motivation. This is ancient wisdom. Let me show you how to break free, not by fixing the world, but by understanding yourself. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. Every day, people say, I don't have time, but that's not true. You don't need more time. You just need to understand what life really is. Because life isn't what you own. It's not your job, your house, your goals. Life is made of two things, and only two things: time and energy. Time is slipping away as we speak. Every tick of the clock is a piece of your life, gone forever. You can't hold it. You can't stretch it. No amount of money or power can buy you even one extra minute. But energy, that's where your power is. Energy is how awake, how alert, how conscious, how intense you are. And if you learn how to manage that, if you learn to raise your energy, you can do in 1 year what others take 10 years to accomplish. Think of two people given the same 24 hours. One wastes it in stress, distraction, complaining. The other, fully present, fully alive, fully clear. Same time, but a world of difference in what they create. This is why someone can live 100 years and leave no impact, while another lives 30 years and becomes immortal through their work, their love, their presence. The question is not, how much time do I have? The real question is, how much of me is there in this moment? Because a full human being, present, intentional, energized, is far more powerful than one running on autopilot for decades. So don't focus on doing more. Focus on being more clear, more awake, more intentional. Your time is running, but your energy, that's the fire you can build. Your mind is not your enemy. It's just been untrained. Most people live thinking, there's something wrong with me. I'm anxious. I get angry too easily. I can't stay focused. I sabotage my own peace. But here's the truth. You are not broken. You're just using powerful tools without a manual. Your mind is not your enemy. Your thoughts, not a curse. Your emotions, not your flaw. They are instruments designed to serve you, to help you experience the world, to bring color, depth, memory, imagination. But here's the thing. A tool, no matter how brilliant, can be dangerous if you don't know how to use it. You don't suffer because life is cruel. You suffer because your inner system is out of sync. Let's say your body is hungry. That's not a problem. It's a signal, a message. But if you ignore it or misunderstand it, you create pain. In the same way, your emotions are signals. Your thoughts are movements. They're not the enemy, they're messengers. You just haven't learned their language yet. Think about it. No one teaches us how to handle the mind. We go to school to learn math, history, how to pass tests. But no one sits us down and says, here's how your inner world works. Here's how to be free from your own noise. So we end up blaming ourselves. I'm weak. I'm not good enough. No, you're just untrained, not broken. There's a world of difference between a wild horse and a trained stallion. Both are strong, but one knows where it's going. You are not the storm. You're the sky that holds it. And once you learn to step back, to watch without judgment, to guide gently instead of fighting yourself, that's when your real power begins. Pain is a signal. Suffering is a story. Pain is part of life. No one escapes it. Comes with being human. You lose someone you love. Your body gets sick. A dream falls apart. That's pain, real, raw, undeniable. But suffering, that's something else. Suffering is what we add on top of pain. It's the mental movie we keep playing long after the moment has passed. Let's say someone breaks your heart. That moment hurts deeply, but weeks, months later, you're still thinking, why did this happen to me? Maybe I wasn't good enough. I'll never be loved again. Now it's no longer pain, it's suffering, and it's coming from the inside. Here's the truth. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control the way you relate to it. And it starts with awareness. Can you notice the difference between what's actually happening and the story you're telling yourself about it? Can you sit with pain without turning it into blame, regret, resentment? You see, pain has a purpose. It wakes you up, teaches you, it opens your heart. But suffering closes you down. It's like carrying a heavy backpack long after the hike is over. The Buddha once taught about the two arrows. The first arrow is the pain, that's life. The second arrow is how you respond, that's choice. And if you don't shoot the second arrow, you remain whole even in hardship. So the next time life hurts, and it will, pause, breathe, stay with the pain, but don't create a story around it. Because healing doesn't mean you never hurt. It means you no longer live in the hurt. We've never been more connected and more confused. We live in the most advanced age in human history. Unlimited information, technology in our pockets, comforts that kings couldn't imagine. And yet more anxiety, more loneliness, more burnout, more people asking quietly, why do I feel so empty? Somehow, we've lost the plot. We've mistaken speed for direction, noise for truth, success for meaning. Look around. We celebrate busyness, not stillness. Achievement, not awareness. We raise children to chase grades, status, screens, but not to know themselves, or to sit with silence, or to ask, what kind of person do I want to become? We scroll endlessly, but rarely listen. We speak more, but feel less. We perform, but don't know who we're performing for anymore. The result? A society full of stimulation and starved of wisdom. Here's the thing. Life isn't a game you win. It's a dance you experience. But we've turned it into a checklist. Degree, job, house, status. Then what? Many people climb the ladder of success, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. We need to slow down. Not because slowness is better, but because clarity is impossible when you're always in a rush. You can't hear your soul in a traffic jam of distractions. Maybe it's time to unplug, to come back to the basics, to ask old questions with new eyes. What matters to me? What kind of life do I want to live? What am I running from? Because the world will always tell you to go faster. But wisdom says, first know where you're going. Your body knows things your mind has forgotten. There's a silent genius living inside you. It breathes without asking. It heals without instruction. It digests food, repairs cells, balances hormones, all while you're asleep. We like to think intelligence lives in the brain. But your body, it is a universe of wisdom. Think about it. The heart beats over 100,000 times a day and never misses a note. Your immune system fights millions of invaders without a single conscious thought. Your skin, your lungs, your blood, all working in harmony, without applause. The body feels the world long before the mind understands it. It knows when something isn't right, even before your thoughts catch up. Anxiety, you feel it in your chest before you can explain it. Grief, it sits in your belly heavy, long before the tears come. Your body doesn't lie. It doesn't overthink. It simply responds to truth. But here's the tragedy. Most of us live disconnected from this intelligence. We numb it, ignore it, push past it in the name of being productive or strong. We override fatigue with caffeine. We bury emotions in distractions. We treat the body like a vehicle instead of a living friend. But healing doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from listening deeper. What if you paused and actually felt what your body was trying to tell you? What if you gave it rest when it asked, stillness when it trembled, movement when it stiffened? The body doesn't need perfection. It needs presence. It needs your trust. Because while the mind is loud, the body is wise. And if you're quiet enough to listen, it will guide you home. What you give your attention to, you become. Attention is your most precious resource. More than money, more than time, Because whatever you give your attention to grows. If you water a plant, it flourishes. If you neglect it, it withers. Your life is no different. If you give your attention to fear, it will expand. If you give it to gratitude, it will grow. But here's the truth. We're living in a world that's stealing our attention. Notifications, ads, noise, 1,000 things screaming, "Look at me!" And so we scatter, half here, half there, checking our phones while talking to loved ones, thinking about dinner while watching the sunset, living everywhere, except now. And when attention is divided, so is the self. You can't feel peace if your mind is always elsewhere. You can't experience depth in life if your attention never stays long enough to touch anything real. The ancient sages knew, where attention goes, energy flows. If you want clarity, focus. If you want love, be fully present with someone. If you want peace, pay attention to this breath, this moment, this feeling in your chest. Try this. Just sit for a minute and pay attention to your breath without trying to change it. Notice how the mind wanders. It will. That's okay. Just gently bring it back. Again and again. That's how you train a wild horse. And that's how you reclaim your mind. Because attention isn't just something you use. It's something you are. Guard it, guide it, and give it only to what truly matters. If someone else controls how you feel, you're not free, you're a puppet. Imagine this. Someone says one careless word, and suddenly your whole day is ruined. They don't even know it. They've walked away. But inside you, it's a storm. You're drowning. Ask yourself, who is in charge of your inner world? Most people live as emotional reaction machines. Someone praises them, they're happy. Someone insults them, they collapse. But this is not freedom. This is slavery dressed up as normal life. When your peace depends on how others behave, you hand over your power like spare change. It's time to take it back. What happens outside may not always be your choice, but what happens inside should always be yours. Someone cuts you off in traffic? That's outside. But your anger, that's inside. Person leaves you unread? That's outside. But the hurt and insecurity, they're yours to hold or release. Does that mean you never feel pain? No. You're human. You'll feel it. But the question is, will you feel it consciously or be swept away unconsciously? Because the moment you see that your inner space is your responsibility, you become powerful. You stop being a victim of moods, of people, of circumstances. You stop waiting for life to behave a certain way to feel okay. You start shaping your inner world like a sculptor with clay, carefully, patiently, with awareness. And when the inner world is yours, truly yours, no one can take your peace without your permission. That's not detachment. That's sovereignty. And from that place, you no longer react, you respond. You no longer chase peace, you are peace. Awareness heals more than effort ever could. We're taught to fix things, find a solution, solve the problem, control, correct, change. But some things in life can't be fixed, not in the way we think. Your anxiety, your overthinking, your self-doubt, they don't always need a solution. They need your attention, your gentle, honest seeing. You don't need to fix the storm. You need to watch it. And when you do, something amazing happens. The storm begins to lose its grip. Awareness is like sunlight. It doesn't push the darkness away. It simply shines. And in its presence, the dark dissolves on its own. Try this. The next time you're angry, instead of analyzing it, just observe it. Don't label it. Don't judge it. Just sit with it. Feel where it lives in the body. Maybe it's heat in the chest, tension in the jaw, a vibration behind the eyes. That's not weakness. That's awareness. That's strength. Because when you see something clearly, you're no longer inside it. You create a space between you and the emotion. And in that space, there's peace. There's choice. The mind says, fix it. The heart whispers, just feel it. The ego says, solve it now. The soul says, See it clearly, and that's enough. You are not your emotions. You are the witness. You are not the storm. You are the sky it passes through. So stop trying to fix yourself like a broken object. Start observing yourself like a wise, loving presence. Because what you see clearly, you don't have to fear anymore. Part 9. One practice that will change everything. Hook. If you did just this one thing every day, your mind, your relationships, and your life would begin to heal. There's a simple practice, ancient, quiet, almost invisible, but if you do it daily, can change everything. Not because it's dramatic, not because it's new, but because it's the opposite of how most people live. It's this: watch yourself. Just watch. Not with judgment, not with guilt, but with presence. Watch how your mind reacts. Watch how your ego flares up. Watch the tension in your shoulders when someone disagrees with you. Watch the urge to interrupt, to defend, to prove. Just be the witness, not the fixer, not the judge, just the silent observer. This single act, watching, creates a gap between you and your thoughts, between you and your emotions, between you and the chaos. And in that gap, you find freedom. Most people live inside their mind like it's a noisy house, cluttered, crowded, no space to breathe. But when you become the witness, you step outside the house. You see the noise without being consumed by it. And this is where change begins. You don't have to control every thought. You don't have to silence the mind. You just have to notice. And slowly, your awareness becomes stronger than your reactivity. Your peace becomes deeper than your fear. Your presence becomes your power. It takes a few minutes a day, while drinking your tea, sitting in traffic, pausing before a reply. Just watch, and the watching itself will do the work. We often think transformation comes from big, dramatic shifts, but the truth is, real change begins in quiet moments. When you choose to pause, to notice, to care for your inner world with the same attention you give to the outer one. You've just taken a journey through time, energy, pain, attention, and awareness. Not to escape life, but to enter it more fully, to stop surviving and begin living with wisdom. Every teaching you've heard, every story that moved you, every insight that made you pause, was pointing to one thing: you already have what you need inside you. Clarity, peace, power. It's just waiting to be uncovered, not added. So here's your next step. Don't rush back into noise. Sit with what you've heard. Let it echo in you. And starting tomorrow morning, before you pick up your phone, before the world comes knocking, give yourself just 3 minutes of stillness. Breathe, watch, listen inside. It's not much, but it's everything.